Imagine waking up one day and realizing that you are no longer bound by the natural limits of life. What if humans could live forever? No more aging, no more fear of death, no more wondering what the end will feel like. Instead, we could continue living, experiencing all that life has to offer without the clock ticking over our heads. But as with any seemingly perfect idea, what if there are shocking consequences to immortality? What would it really mean for society, for the earth, and for our very concept of what it means to be human? Let's dive deep into this mind-bending what-if scenario. What if humans could live forever? Section 1. The scientific possibilities of immortality. Before we get into the wild consequences of living forever, let's first examine how close science is to making this a reality. The race for immortality. Scientists have been working on understanding aging for years. In recent studies, some scientists believe that extending human life isn't just a fantasy. With advancements in genetics, regenerative medicine, and artificial intelligence, the idea of immortality might not be too far off. Researchers are exploring how to slow down or even reverse the aging process by manipulating cells and DNA. Could we one day stop aging completely? The thought is terrifying for some and exhilarating for others. Transhumanism. What if we could upload our consciousness into machines? In a world where science and technology merge, the idea of transferring your mind into a robotic body could mean the end of physical aging. But would the you that lives forever still be you? Or would it just be a copy of your consciousness? This blurry line between humanity and technology is a subject of fierce debate among futurists and philosophers. Section 2. The immediate effects on society. Now, let's explore the shocking reality of what would happen if humans really did live forever. Would we embrace it? Or would the world unravel in ways we can't predict? Overpopulation crisis. One immediate problem would be the explosive growth of the human population. If humans stopped dying, how would society cope with the increasing number of people living on Earth? Cities, resources, and even food would become scarce. Governments would struggle to create sustainable environments. Would we need to colonize other planets to survive? Or would Earth become overcrowded and uninhabitable? No more births. Imagine a world where no one ever dies. Would we still have babies? If you could live forever, would you want to bring new generations into the world? Or would the pressure of overcrowding stop people from having children? Over time, society could face an ethical dilemma. If there's no natural cycle of life and death, would it affect human reproduction? And what would that mean for the future of humanity? Economic implications. Immortality could radically change the way the global economy functions. What if no one ever retired? If you could live forever, would you work your job for hundreds or thousands of years? Would you still have a desire to progress in your career? Or would the concept of work and money lose its meaning entirely? Without the fear of death, would the concept of retirement or saving for the future no longer exist? Section 3. Personal relationships and psychological effects. Living forever sounds amazing at first, but what if it started to unravel the core of who we are and how we relate to others? The burden of immortality. Imagine outliving everyone you know. Friends, family, loved ones, eventually. They all age and pass away while you stay the same. How would you cope with losing those you love over and over again? Would relationships become shallow because you'd know they'd end eventually? Would the pain of outliving loved ones drive you into deep isolation, unable to connect with anyone knowing they'll eventually die? Psychological effects of endless life. At first, living forever might feel liberating. But over centuries or millennia, would you start to lose your sense of purpose? Would your mind eventually become weary and jaded with the endless passage of time? How would you keep your sense of wonder and excitement when you've seen everything, done everything, and experienced it all for hundreds of years? The end of death as a motivation. One of the most shocking consequences of immortality would be the loss of death as a motivator. Most of us live with the knowledge that time is finite. But if you knew you'd live forever, would you still be motivated to accomplish great things? What happens to human ambition if there's no urgency to get things done? Would our desire to push the boundaries of science, art, and exploration lose its spark? Section 4. The ethical and philosophical dilemma of living forever. What if living forever isn't as great as it seems? Immortality might be the ultimate dream for some, but it raises serious moral and philosophical questions. Would immortality be fair? What happens to the concept of equality in a world where immortality is available? Would the wealthy elite be the only ones to live forever while the poor are left to die? Would immortality become a commodity controlled by the few? Could this create a massive divide in society where only the rich can escape death, creating even greater social injustices? The nature of humanity. What does it mean to be human if you can never die? Would immortality strip away the essence of what makes life meaningful? Would we become trapped in a cycle of never-ending existence with no beginning or end, losing the very thing that makes life precious, our mortality? Could immortality take away the beauty of life, making everything feel insignificant in the face of endless existence? Should we even want immortality? There's a moral question here. Should we live forever? The ancient Greeks believed that immortality wasn't a gift, but a curse. Would we start seeing immortality as a burden, one that brings more misery than joy? What would it mean for the earth and the animals who share this planet if humans lived forever and never gave up their space? Section 5. The ultimate twist. What if immortality led to Here's where the story takes a shocking twist. What if living forever actually led to the downfall of humanity? Overpopulation and resource scarcity. As the population continues to grow without death, the Earth's resources would eventually run out. We could run out of food, water, and space for everyone. Cities could become giant, overcrowded slums, and the world could descend into chaos as people fight for survival. No more progress. With an immortal population, the incentive to create new inventions and technologies could stagnate. Humans might grow complacent, no longer motivated to advance in society or solve the world's problems. Without the fear of death, innovation could slow, leaving humanity stuck in a cycle of repetition with no way to break free. the Great Collapse. As resources dwindle and social structures break down, could the very thing we saw to mortality become the thing that destroys us? Would the end of death lead to a never-ending spiral of overpopulation, resource exhaustion, and eventual human collapse? In the end, immortality might not be the key to eternal life, might be the final nail in humanity's coffin. Conclusion. So, what if humans could live forever? At first glance, it sounds like the ultimate dream man endless adventure with no end in sight. But when you dive deeper into the shocking implications of immortality, you see how it could lead to unexpected consequences that might unravel the fabric of society and humanity itself. Would you still want immortality after considering the endless challenges, ethical dilemmas, and psychological burdens? Or would you rather embrace life's natural cycle, accepting that death gives life meaning? What would you do if you could live forever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more mind-blowing what-if scenarios.